Reconciliation starts with looking inward, understanding the challenges that you need to face, and understanding the obstacles that you need to overcome. Reconciliation isn't just a societal goal. It's a personal path that we all need to walk. Some of us have learning to do, and some of us must face our own fears, even if it's the fear of our own identity. This, I believe, will lead to empathy and understanding of not just others, but ourselves. Growing up as an Indigenous person, I had stereotypes thrown at me that I thought would define my path in life. Some of these came from within my community, and some of these came from outside my community. I was surrounded with people that suffered with addiction, homelessness, and despair. It took me a really long time to realize that I could fight against despair and brush off the labels cast upon me. My journey, it took an unexpected turn when I entered the foster care system. When I was 4, I was walking to school with my older sister. We were passing by a store and I noticed a van. 2 ladies got out of this van. They called our names, and before I knew it, they picked us up and they threw us in the back of their van. They brought us to a home. I was trapped, locked in a room with my baby brother and my older sister. My thoughts took over. I didn't know where I was. Why am I here? Where is my family? I remember feeling every emotion from being scared to blaming myself. Who are we here with? Our supposed caregivers who couldn't see beyond the color of my skin? I felt isolated and misunderstood. I knew I was trapped in that room for one reason. It was because I was Indigenous. And in that moment, that is when the hatred started. The hatred for my life, my identity, my culture. I knew from then on, no matter where I was and who I was with, I would just be seen as Indigenous. You see, I resented everybody, but I hated the person who I saw in the mirror the most. When I saw her, I only saw her Cree features. Her nose, her cheekbones, and her teeth. Most of all, I hated her skin, her brown skin, not white. I remember days where I would scour the internet in search of any way I could change the color of my skin. We used to bleach my skin. And with no solution in sight, I found my own way. I remember looking in that mirror, picking up a metal sponge, and scraping away my indigeneity. I scraped and I scraped till I bled. I did everything I could to hide the one thing that seemed to define me. When I met people, I thought they only saw me by the color of my skin and that I was Indigenous, and that I was all the labels that came with being Indigenous. I was just a child, but even then, I knew that I had to tell my story for myself instead of letting others tell it for me. When I was 12, I entered a public speaking program for youth, and it was run by an adult who taught us to tell our own stories, tell our true stories. And then he also listened with care, and this was something I have never experienced before. I saw the power of listening to people share their stories, and I knew more than anything that I could share my story too. This is how I began to reconcile the complicated truths of my own life. Overcoming my shame was just the start. I saw how storytelling could change things. Storytelling became my strength. When I shared my story with people, so many people understood what I thought they never would. They understood things I didn't think that they could understand. My story was changing things. Storytelling, it was not just a part of my tradition. but it became my medicine. It connected me with people in ways I never thought it would. And it connected me with myself. In the end, my story became a powerful tool for change. But most importantly, it helped me help others feel less alone and more understood. It helped me feel less alone and more understood. I began to live my life as a part of a broader community, and I lived more authentically as myself. Through learning how to share my story, I began to reconcile myself. I learned that reconciliation, it begins with acknowledging our past and embracing our future. Reconciliation isn't just about healing wounds. It's about sculpting a future where every individual is valued and respected. And this began with me, working on my very own internalized racism. True reconciliation, it comes with understanding others, but it starts with understanding ourselves. Today, I think back to the little girl who used to look in the mirror with hate, hating the reflection that stared back at her. Today, I see those same Cree features. My nose, my skin. I love these incredible cheekbones. I know now that my trauma was somebody else determining my story for me. And reconciliation within myself was me taking back my story. I wish for all of you the courage to think about the harmful things that you may think about yourself. And I want you to find who started telling you these things in the first place. And I want you to take back your story. And when you're ready to share your story with the world, I will be first in line to sit down and listen to you. Thank you all so much.